Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. It is your boy Biggs, and today I'm trying out something a little bit different. Uh, this is my first movie review that I've done, and this is no spoilers, okay? Let me know down in the comment section below if you guys would like me to do a spoiler review. If you've seen the movie, or unless you just don't give a shit about spoilers, then just let me know down in the comments if you want me to do a spoiler review. But this movie review is no spoilers whatsoever, so you don't gotta worry about spoilers. My thoughts on Batman v Superman. I saw it last night, and if I would have done a movie review last night, I'm telling you the score would have been so low for this. But I've had enough time to sleep on it. I slept on it. I woke up. My mind is clear. So I'm like, okay. Now what do I think? Now that I saw it last night, here we go. Batman v Superman was an okay to a good movie. It was. You can make the argument that it was a good movie. My issues with it. Let's get to the negatives of this movie first before the positives. The negatives. Without getting into spoiler territory, if you've seen the trailers to Batman v Superman, whether it's the first trailer or the second trailer, even the third or the TV spots, you've basically seen the movie. And that's not spoiling for you. It really is. I went into this movie expecting, I wasn't expecting the greatest superhero movie ever. I was expecting a little bit more than I actually got. All the fight scenes that you've seen are in the movie. So when you see it, aren't in the trailers. So when you see it in the movie, it's like it doesn't have that much of an impact. And this is not really a spoiler because you've seen it in the trailer. Doomsday, that reveal in the trailer was like, wow, it would have so much more impact if you would have seen it in the movie instead of seeing it in the trailer. You would have been like, oh man, Doomsday, he's here. And Wonder Woman, man, they just show too much in their trailers, and I think that's what hurt the movie. You've basically seen all the fight scenes in the movie. There's a few more surprises, a few more fight scenes here and there, but man, they've showed basically all the fight scenes in the trailers, and that really let me down. Um, so those are some negatives. Oh, and okay, let's get to the characters. Okay, Lex Luthor. Basically, the Riddler from Batman. I don't even know what movie it was, but he's basically that character. He's basically like a schizophrenic, you know. I can't really explain it, man. It's weird. There's some awkward ass scenes in this movie with Lex Luthor. I'm like, what the hell is this shit? It's awkward. Some of the scenes in this movie are awkward when he's talking. Like, seems like he can't really get a sentence across because he's like, nervous, or I don't know, man. Like he's hyper or ADHD or something, man. It's crazy. It's like there's some awkward ass scenes, and it's just like, wow. Uh, I can't talk about that because that'll be getting into spoiler territory. Um, I think this Batman that we got from Ben Affleck, and this is just my opinion. If you disagree with me, okay, that's your opinion too. My opinion on Batman, best part of the movie. I think Ben Affleck nailed it as Bruce Wayne and Batman. His Batman was so menacing, man. Every time he would get in a fight with the criminal or Superman, man, you feel like this Batman is just fucking scary, dude. It's like the way he hits you, He's to me he's the definitive Batman, and I can't wait to see Ben Affleck possibly direct his own Batman movie. That would be badass. Um, Henry Cavill was okay as Superman. I saw Man of Steel. I didn't think he was the best Superman, but he did a good job as Superman in Man of Steel. This one, he does a pretty good job for what he's given, for the role he's given. Uh,
finished just yet.
I don't know, man. I feel like this movie, though,
You for a long time.
basically don't go into this movie with your hopes up. I don't know, man. I mean, that's fucked up for me to say because this movie, man, had the potential to be the greatest superhero movie of all time. I mean, you've got Batman, the world's greatest detective, you
If you can
know,
prove your abilities,
the Nightcrawler, whatever,
I'll consider it.
whatever names they give Batman now. You had Superman, you know. People been wanting to see these guys on the big screen for the longest time. And this movie, you know, it's just all over the place. The pacing in this movie fucking sucks, man. This movie is basically like 5 different movies in one. I mean, the first half of this movie is basically a political thriller slash drama, and the last part of this movie is like action, you know, I don't know, I can't really explain it, man. I'm not saying this movie's bad, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying this movie seems like it's all over the place. The editing is just weird. Like, you know, there'll be a certain scene, you know, focusing on Batman, then all of a sudden it'll jump to Superman right away. Like, really? We're not going to finish that scene with Batman and that particular scene? We're just going to cut straight to Superman? And it's just weird, man. I can't really explain it without getting into spoiler territory, man. I'm trying to keep myself back from, like, talking about
None of us
spoilers.
know what will happen after tonight.
Um, I can't talk about that. The length of this movie, man. 2 hours and 30 minutes. I think this movie is, I think it's 2 hours and 30 minutes, 33 minutes. I mean, I feel like if this movie had at least 20 to 30 minutes cut off of it, it would have been a better movie. Because there are some scenes in this movie that, you know, felt out of place. The editing was just weird, and, you know, I heard that the reason why they had to edit it so short, I heard this movie was going to be originally 3 hours. And they're making a Blu-ray version of it that's going to be rated R, and it's going to be 3 hours. So maybe that's why that it was originally supposed to be 3 hours. And, you know, they just had to cut whatever they could and only keep, like, the important stuff in there. But it's just like, man, it was kind of weird, you know, because, like, you'll be watching a certain scene, then all of a sudden it'll jump to another scene. And that scene will be kind of good, and then it'll go to another scene. That's, like, weird. It has these weird jump cuts. And I've heard a big complaint from people that they don't like this dark, eerie, and gruely DC, these dark, grueling movies from DC that they make, because, you know, they like the way Marvel does their movies with, you know, like the light, funny, you know, bright colors and all that. I'm okay with DC doing the dark stuff as long as they make some good movies out of it, man. Just like The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight. That's basically one of my favorite movies of all time. Just period. Not even in superhero movies. It's just all time. And that's dark as shit. So it's like, DC could do it, but, you know, I feel like this movie is just all over the place, man. And that's enough for my negatives. Let's get to my positives, man. Of course, Ben Affleck as Batman, to me, is a definitive Batman. Um, what else, man? I can't really think right now because I just woke up. Um, damn it.
The missing fire crews
I
now
thought
safe
I
in
actually
the
liked
streets.
Doomsday.
Start by checking
I
Dixon
actually
boxes.
liked them.
That was their last
Uh,
location.
I feel like, you know, if you wouldn't have seen Doomsday in the trailer, then it would have had more of an impact. Doomsday would have had more of an impact if you didn't see him in the trailer. You would have been like, oh shit, it's Doomsday, man, they brought him. But since you saw it, it took some of that emotion and surprise element out of it. But he was still a good character. The fight scenes with Doomsday was like, holy shit, when you see all of them together. It's not a spoiler because you knew it was gonna happen eventually. It was badass, man. Um, Henry Cavill did a good job as Superman, of course. I thought Amy Adams played Lois Lane pretty good. Although I feel like, I don't know, like they've used, and it's not just in the Man of Steel movie. It's, you know, the old Superman movies too. They use Lois Lane as a damsel in distress, basically. You know, like anytime she gets in trouble, you know, it always has to be the girl that, you know, the superhero loves that gets in trouble and then he has to save them. It's like, okay, we've seen this 1,000 times in different movies. It's just like, wow. Um, I can't really say too much else without getting into spoiler territory. So, we're going to get to my rating. We're just going to end it right here because I don't want to go into spoiler territory. And last night, if I would have done this video last night, I would have given this movie a 5. Either a 5 or a 5.5 out of 10. But since I slept on it, I'm gonna give this movie a 6. This movie is a 6 out of 10. And that's not, you know, of course, some people think it's bad when a movie gets that rating. It's not a bad movie whatsoever. It's a good movie. But it's just not as good as I thought it was gonna be because I had high expectations. I mean, Batman and Superman, you know? So it's like, it's a good movie, but of course, people nowadays think that if a movie or a game gets lower than an 8 out of 10, then it's basically not good at all. That's not the case. This movie is an okay movie. It's just, it's not the best superhero movie ever, in my opinion. You know, I've seen better ones from DC. I've seen better ones from Marvel. I've seen better ones from Fox. Okay, and this is just my opinion, okay? So, you know, I know there's going to be some haters maybe down in the comments, you know, trying to argue against me. And hey, you know, feel free. I read all the comments, believe it or not. So, I mean, this movie, it's not a bad movie at all. I feel like it could have been executed way better. Some of the stuff I liked in the movie, if I do a spoiler movie, I'll talk about. It's just, I can't really talk about the stuff I liked that much because, you know, without getting into spoiler territory. But yeah, man, that's just my thoughts on the movie. It's a 6 out of 10. I recommend you go see it for yourself to see if you like it. And, you know, judge it for yourself and then come back, man. Come back. Let me know down in the comments. And yeah, man, I thank you guys for watching this. Remember to like, subscribe, share, favorite, do everything. I'll see you guys in the next video. And let me know what you think of Batman vs. Superman. Alright? Later.